Hello everyone. In today's video, we're going to be going over how to perform a sliding double roundhouse kick in Taekwondo. Before attempting any of these kick progressions, I do recommend you watch our sliding roundhouse kick tutorial and our double roundhouse kick tutorial because all of the technique from those tutorials will significantly help you in learning this kick. Additionally, before you attempt any of these progressions, I do recommend you warm up and loosen to help prevent injury. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So this kick is just a sliding roundhouse kick, and then after you perform that first initial kick, you switch off onto the other leg, doing the second kick, turning it into a sliding double. So I'm going to be kicking with my left leg first, so I want to have my right leg back. The first kick you're doing, that leg should be in front. Okay, so I'm going to briefly go over how to perform that sliding roundhouse kick technique. So always start in a clear fighting stance. I'm going to have my foot in between being forward and completely off to the side. So step number one for the sliding roundhouse kick, I want to kick my rear leg to my front leg like this, hitting at about the lower calf area. The lower along the ground, the better, but you don't want to be dragging it along the ground. And then it's personal preference how you like to position your foot for this kick. I'm going to flex my foot slightly to help prevent it from dragging on the ground. So just practicing that. Step number one, kick your leg. All right. Step number two is going to be jump off that kicking leg and raise the knee up and chamber it for the roundhouse kick. So step number two, switch off. Step number three is going to be the pivot. Depending on what you want to do for the kick, that will determine how much you want to pivot. Okay, so I do recommend whenever you're doing the double kick, you don't pivot too much on the first one unless you're trying to have all the power on the first one. So I'm going to show you less power on the first one, more power on the second kick. From here, step number three, pivot. So I'm going to do a sparring style roundhouse kick for this one, so it's less than a full pivot. Step number four is going to be kick, pull back. And then step number five, I'm going to jump off and switch onto the other leg, raising my knee straight up. So this is the double kick technique now. Step number six is pivot. So I'll do a more pivot on this kick so I can have more power on the second kick. And then last step, kick, pull back, and set it down just like that. Okay, so let's go through it again. As you get more comfortable with the progression, put less time in between each step to get closer and closer to the actual version of the kick. So starting in a good fighting stance, step one, rear foot, touch front foot. Two, switch off, knee up. Three, pivot, not a full pivot. Four, kick, pull back. Five, jump, switch, knee up. Six, pivot for the second kick. I'm going to do more of a pivot. And seven, kick, pull back down. All right, practice that a couple times until you're pretty comfortable with that progression. And then let's move on to the next breakdown. We're going to start pairing up steps a little more. So I'm going to kick, slide my legs together, and go to the knee up. So feet together, knee up. Now I'm going to turn, kick, pull back. Turn, kick, pull back. Now I'm going to switch off and knee up. Now turn, kick, pull back. And down, just like that. Put less time in between the progression, each step, as you get more comfortable. Just like that. And let's get closer to the final kick. So I'm going to perform the sliding roundhouse kick now, and then stop after I rechamber that kick. So I'm going to do the sliding roundhouse kick, passing through all of the steps that we did. So kicking my lower leg, knee up, turn, kick, pull back. That's where I'm going to stop. And then from here, I'm going to jump off and switch, doing the rest of the kick. So I jump, switch, knee up, turn, kick, pull back down. Okay? And this will be the last progression before the final kick. So let's go ahead and try it. Sliding roundhouse, and then jump off, and roundhouse kick. Watch again. Do not pivot on that first one too much, unless you want more power to be on that first one. But I'm going to do light kick on the first one, hard kick on the second one. So light, then switch off, kick a little harder. All right, once you're pretty comfortable with that progression, time to smooth out that transition between that sliding round kick and that second kick. So the biggest mistake I tend to see in this combination, this kick, is that the student typically overturns on the first kick and then tries to do a full pivot on the second kick as well. So it's okay to turn a little more on that first kick, just don't try to cancel it out by pivoting back completely the other way on the second kick. Just do a partial pivot on the second kick. Okay? But if you're trying to do a light kick on the first one and a harder kick on the second one, it should not be a full pivot on the first kick. So partial pivot on the first kick, and then more pivot or close to a full pivot on that second kick. Or you're likely to get stuck on that switch like this. You're not going to be able to get over. It's going to be incredibly difficult to turn that hip all the way back over. So really think sparring style roundhouse kick on that first one, partial pivot, and then I'll switch off and really drive the hip and shoulder over into that double kick or the second kick so I can complete the kick successfully, just like this. So I slide, partial pivot first one, and full roundhouse kick on that second one a little more. Okay, really drive that hip over, and don't forget your shoulder also. Additionally, use your arms as a counterweight, all right? So whenever one leg is kicking, I should drop that same side arm down to help counter the weight and let my body move naturally. Like with anything, you'll get better with practice. So take your time, go to the progression that you need to if you're getting a little stuck. And the biggest tip I can give you is just do not overturn for that first one, or you're very likely to get stuck on that second kick. And that's how you perform a sliding double roundhouse kick in Taekwondo. If you have any suggestions for what we should do a tutorial on next, be sure to leave it down in the comments below. This is Champions Taekwondo Academy. Thanks for watching.